Very honored to be here today representing the Government of Canada. And great to be here at this symposium on environmental partnership. It really is a priority for Canada and is a priority for our consulate here in Los Angeles. As Nadia would have highlighted this morning, I'd like to underscore our congratulations to the Institute of Environment and Sustainability, who have worked in the past year with partners at UCLA, the Quebec delegation in Los Angeles, and the California Air Resources Board for putting this symposium together. I really found just the last hour to be quite fascinating in terms of the issues involved in this topic. As is mentioned, I am new to California, having arrived in February. However, my team was very clear that this is a priority and that the Quebec-California market linkage has been a result of a lot of work over many years, that these things just don't happen overnight. And when we were going through schedules, it was clear, it was like, you really should come to this because I think you'll learn a lot and we'll show our commitment to the organization and to the governments involved. I'd like to just tell you, just take a couple of minutes to talk about Canada and what we've been doing federally to focus on reducing emissions and focusing on climate change. Canada recognizes that climate change is a global challenge requiring a global solution and is committed to tackling climate change through sustained actions to build low-carbon economy that includes reaching global agreements, working with our North American partners, and taking action domestically. As you all know, under the Copenhagen Accord, Canada has pledged to reduce our total greenhouse gas emissions by 17% from 2005 to 2020, which lines up directly with the United States. And obviously, that is important because we are the world's largest trading partners. Goods are exchanged every day between our two great countries. It was pretty important that we align our goals and objectives with the United States, given the close integration of the economies, our geographic proximity, everything that we share from our land mass to our rivers to our lakes. Very important that we work together. And actually, Canada has over 50 bilateral arrangements concerning the environment and over 100 arrangements at the state and provincial levels, including cap-and-trade linkages, as we're discussing here today. As many of you know, Canada federally is not taking a cap-and-trade approach, but instead a sector-by-sector regulatory approach to reducing GHG emissions. We've already taken action on two of Canada's largest sources of GHG emissions, transportation and electricity, and are continuing to work on regulations for other major sources of GHG emissions, including the oil and gas sector, very important for us. We are achieving success. From 2005 to 2011, Canada's GHG emissions have decreased by 4.8%, while our economy has grown. So it's really by over 8%. So it's really important that we balance both. The 2013 Canada Emissions Trends Report estimates that as a result of the combined efforts of federal, provincial, and territorial governments and consumers, as we've just heard, and businesses, GHG emissions in 2020 will be 734 megatons. That is 228 megatons lower than where emissions would have been in 2020 if no action had been taken. The transportation sector, very important. Canada's a big piece of geography like the United States, and obviously spread out over literally thousands of miles. Makes up approximately 25% of our emissions. And Canada's worked collaboratively with the U.S. towards common North American standards for greenhouse gas emissions from vehicles, and thanks to our partners and friends in California, who are definitely leading the way in these regulations, and that's obviously a benefit for us here in North America. On electricity, we've taken steps towards developing an even cleaner electricity grid and released final regulations in September 2012 to reduce emissions from coal-fired electricity sector. And Canada's become the first major coal user to ban the construction of traditional coal-fired electricity generation units. We're moving to address other major sources of emissions and are currently working with our provinces on regulations to reduce emissions from the oil and gas sector while ensuring Canadian companies remain competitive in the global marketplace in which we operate. While greenhouse gas emissions in Canada rose significantly in the decades prior to 2006, they have since gone down thanks to the real action taken by consumers, businesses, and governments across the country, which is a credit to our citizens. And again, I'd just like to congratulate the province of Quebec and their representatives here and California for working together on cap and trade. And we certainly will be following the results closely and hope that they are very successful. Finally, I'd like to invite people here. We have a very special guest coming to UCLA on April 29th. Our Governor General, David Johnson, will be here. It's an honor for us to have him come, and he will be speaking here at UCLA. He's going to give a talk on diplomacy of knowledge, innovation exchange across borders, which I think you may find interesting. The Governor General, in his current capacity, as well as being the former president of the University of Waterloo, has focused on innovation partnerships in the energy and environmental space, so topical for this audience as well. So we really hope you'll join us. I think we'll have some details. We can provide details outside if people are interested in attending that. And with that, I'd like to turn it back to the organizer. I think I'm staying between you and a break, right, Madeline?
Yeah.
So anyway, I look forward to meeting you. I'm staying for the rest of this symposium, so look forward to saying hello. Thank you.
Thank you very much.